You can call it deja vu as the road to the Skyline Championship runs through a packed Kaplan Center as the Mount St. Mary Knights and the Mount St. Vincent Dolphins clash in the Skyline tournament for the third straight year. The Mount St. Vincent Dolphins, the 6th seed, fresh off an upset of 3-seed Manhattanville on Tuesday. They now take on the 2-seeded Knights after a first-round bye, looking to advance to the championship for the first time in 3 seasons, and these two schools back at the same spot as they were a year ago. Thanks for joining us on the Mount St. Mary Sports Network. Alongside Lucas Stackpole, I'm Matt Scalzo. Glad you can make this a part of your Thursday night. And Lucas, 371 days ago, these two teams met in this very gym in the exact same situation with a trip to the Skyline Championship on the line. It ended in a Mount St. Vincent celebration, 72-62. When talking with both coaches, they stressed the importance of staying in the moment. How is handling emotions vital in this game?
Oh, for sure. I mean, this is probably the loudest the Kaplan Center's been all year, and you just have to find a way. If you're the Knights, you use that atmosphere. You play it to your strengths. And if you're Mount St. Vincent, you want to take the crowd out of it as soon as you can. This place is going to be loud. It's packed out. Big playoff game. And like you said, Matt, these two teams met for the same semifinal game a year ago. And the Knights, mostly the same team, they're for sure going to have a chip on their shoulder.
You talked about mostly being the same team for Mount St. Mary. Huge roster turnover in terms of Mount St. Vincent. Only one starter returns from that starting 5 last season. They've added a new piece in its first-team All-Skyline guard, Aaron Smith. She'll go against Brianna Guglielmo, who was second-team All-Conference. They were just named this week. Both offenses are going to run through those two guards. How important is it for both those players to get going?
Oh, absolutely, Matt. Absolutely. It totally takes a village. But now the playoffs, as the intensity starts to ramp up, you can start to play through your stars. That's what I imagine both teams are going to try and do. Give the ball to your scores and get out of the way.
Let's meet the starters for tonight's contest. First, for Mount St. Vincent, Jakaya Lotz joins Greta Baker, Grace Kennedy, Kayla Hanley, and Michaela Legone. As for Mount St. Mary, it is Maggie Trinkus, Casey Love, Lauren Petrie, Brianna Guglielmo, and for the 5th straight game, Kate Hughes, the graduate student, gets the nod. Mount St. Mary and Mount St. Vincent. The Dolphins of Mount St. Vincent on their quest for their 2nd straight Skyline Championship. The Knights of Mount St. Mary looking to avenge its semifinal loss from a year ago and advance to the Skyline Championship for the first time since they won it all in 2022. The energy is palpable inside the Kaplan Center. Head coaches ready to go, Marion Dietz for Mount St. Mary and Maria Narduli for Mount St. Vincent. The Knights in the home whites and the Dolphins in the road navy blues. We're all set to go. Trinkus and Lotz get together. They jump up, and the tip is won by Mount St. Mary, and this semifinal showdown is underway. A trip to the Skyline Championship to face either the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy or Farmingdale State on Saturday. Hughes, the backdoor feed. Trinkus, the reverse layup. And you can already feel the buzz as Maggie Trinkus, the star freshman, gets the Knights on the board first.
And that's a perfect start there. And like you touched on, Matt, the crowd, it's palpable. If you're the Knights, you can find a way to use that to your advantage. This place will be rocking all night. The team on the court just needs to deliver.
And Grace Kennedy, another freshman, answers on the other end for Mount St. Vincent. 3rd meeting this season between two. They split the regular season, and it was blowouts on both ends. 65-42, the win for Mount St. Mary in this building at the start of 2025 on January 7th. And then just 5 days ago, it was Mount St. Vincent 63-42 to close out the regular season at home on Senior Day for the Dolphins. And they followed it up with a 47-41 win in the first round against Manhattanville. And they're looking for another upset big tonight.
I'm really interested to see how this one plays out, Matt, obviously just because there's so much discourse about, do teams on a bye week have an unfair advantage? Do they get to sit? And obviously with these one-and-done playoffs, you look at March Madness, you look at the NFL, it's just about who gets hot at the right time. Mount St. Vincent, the 6 seed, beating the 3 seed is nothing to sneeze at. And now if you're the Knights, you've had the bye, now you just have to come out hot, which is a challenge so many teams with bye weeks face.
As Petrie gets the bucket to go on not only the 2nd but the 3rd chance opportunity for Mount St. Mary. And when talking with Coach Dietz pregame, she said that over the last week, at least in the Manhattanville game, they had felt that half the team was dealing with a little bit of a flu issue. Casey Love missed that game because of an illness. She's back in the lineup. She gets a steal. Trinkus in transition, charges, and Hanley is the one that draws it. And then in that game, in the loss against Mount St. Vincent, Coach Dietz felt like the other half of the team was dealing with those sinus issues and had symptoms. She said everyone feels good now. They all feel healthy, so hopefully that bye has helped them in the case of everyone feeling 100%. Kennedy throws that away. And through the first 2 minutes, it's a 4-2 Mount St. Mary lead.
I mean, we're 2 minutes into the contest, so I can't say anything yet, but the Knights' defense to open the game has looked really stellar. I mean, obviously that first basket, but other than that, a couple missed layups and just forced a turnover.
Petrie closed off, finds help in Trinkus. And the feed inside is taken away by Michaela Legone, and then Love stops her from breaking out in transition, poking it out of bounds. Mount St. Vincent this season averaging over 62 points per game, limiting opponents to 54. And have won 5 of their last 6. 4 of those have come by double digits. The lone below that was the most recent meeting against Manhattanville. Deep three is drilled by Grace Kennedy, who has all 5 points for Mount St. Vincent. Guglielmo on the other end. Bounces around, and a foul is called on the floor as Lotz picked up the rebound.
Going back to what you said, Matt, I think that's what's going to make this Dolphins team so dangerous. They're hot right now, 5 out of 6, 4 of them by double digits, and this 5th one, a road playoff victory. They've done it before. Can they do it again?
Kennedy's got all 5 points. Did not play in the first meeting between these two. Had 5 in the most recent. Hanley, a deep 2. And tracked down on the long rebound by Casey Love. Mount St. Mary's second best offense in the Skyline, averaging over 68 points per game. Hughes, an open 18-footer, rattles in. And the Knights are back in front. Kate Hughes, who was named to the Skyline All-Sportsmanship team, coming up back for her graduate year after suffering her second ACL tear last season, has waited her turn, Coach Dietz said, and was a little, as she called it, bugged out at the start of the year because she wasn't getting the playing time she was wanted. She said to Kate Hughes, "We're going to need you," and she started the last 5, and she's been huge. As has Lauren Petrie. Lauren Petrie, the senior out of Syracuse, has been averaging over 10 points per game over the last 6 games. Had 18 points, a career high in the win over Manhattanville. She has really started to find her stroke from beyond the arc.
And the Knights really methodical with the ball their last 2 possessions. Kate Hughes obviously from 18 feet, wide open look as that one goes down. And then a wide open 3-pointer. Just beat the Knights, doing an excellent job taking care of the ball so far.
Lotz took it away from Guglielmo and got a much-needed basket for the Dolphins as we near the halfway point in the opening quarter. 9-7 the lead for Mount St. Mary. Love has it ripped away. It's Lotz again. And now with numbers for Mount St. Vincent. Baker heaves the 3 and hits. Baker, a sophomore and a transfer from Western Oregon, a D2 school. Coach Narduli says she plays at a high level, and you can see it with her on the court, with her athleticism and her shooting ability. She gives Mount St. Vincent a lead. Hughes draws a foul and will go to the line, looking for the tie and potentially the lead with 4:42 to go in the first quarter.
Very fast-paced game so far. Not a whole lot of stoppages. First trip to the line for either team. Probably much needed. Let everyone catch their breath, slow down. Great job by the Dolphins. Their 5-0 run. Both of those baskets came off of turnovers. If you can do that, that is an excellent recipe for success.
3 Dolphins come out in Greta Baker, Jakaya Lotz, and Michaela Legone. In comes first-team all-conference guard Aaron Smith, along with Mel Broderick and Julia Angelis, as Hughes knots it up at 10. Hughes shooting right around 80% at the free throw line this season, makes both. Came into the game 19 of 25 at the line. And Aaron Smith, greeted with some boos in her return to the Kaplan Center, puts up a step-back three off the mark. Rebound Guglielmo, and Angeles gets called for a push.
And Matt, this place is going to be like this all night. If you're the Knights, you just have to keep adding fuel to the fire.
Aaron Smith, fortunately, in her first game back, it was right after the new year. You hadn't come back from break, as had much of the students, so it was a rather tame game in terms of crowd. This, very different. And defense leading to offense. Kate Hughes has been a factor early in this contest. It's up to a three-point advantage.
Both teams so far doing a really good job cashing in on turnovers. We'll see which team's able to maintain that for longer.
Angeles, pump fake. The dish inside goes between the wickets of Broderick, and it's back to Smith. Hanley with 6. With 3, Hanley has to put up a deep 3. It's an air ball. That just seemed like an out-of-system possession for Mount St. Vincent.
That pass that went through the 5-hole definitely threw off the entirety of the possession. Now if you're the Knights, I was going to say you can't turn the ball over, but
it looks like the broadcaster jinx was just in front of you on that.
Yeah,
one.
No, for sure. Yeah, there's levels to this apparently.
That's a new one to me. I haven't seen it that far in advance before.
Yeah, mid-sentence is a new one for sure.
Well, and now the Dolphins turn it over, so maybe it doesn't hurt too bad on your part.
Yeah, no, it balances. Makes me look a lot better. Things balanced out. And now if you're the Knights, you just have to take full advantage. We've seen on both the men's and women's teams, failure to take advantage of mistakes has definitely come back to haunt both teams.
Petrie guarded closely by Baker. Gets it up top to Guglielmo. And now Love into the paint. Kick out Hughes, the elbow jumper. A little strong. Petrie and Baker tie up for the jump ball. Will go to the arrow, and possession points in favor of Mount St. Vincent. Aaron Smith greeted with boos, and the Mount St. Vincent contingent trying to get her, I guess, going with some more cheers. Baker, tough shot, comes to the hands of Smith. She is triple teamed, and now it's another jump ball, and possession will go back to Mount St. Mary.
We're still fairly early in the contest, so I don't know if flustered is the right word, but you can definitely tell that this is an away playoff game for Mount St. Vincent. A lot of botched passes, a lot of missed finishes. They're going to have to clean this up.
They had that environment against Manhattanville, but one of the smaller gyms, I believe it's the smallest in the Skyline, is Kennedy Gymnasium for Manhattanville. Here in the Kaplan Center, this is the biggest crowd I've seen this season, and definitely the loudest I've heard it.
I know I can speak at least on behalf of the baseball team. Good job getting inside. That shot won't go. All the students here under specific instructions, come in here and be loud.
Now the baseball teams definitely showed up by what I can tell.
Yeah.
Over in the top right from us, as Baker off balance through contact is able to finish past Maggie Trinkus. Hughes inside with the right. And Kate Hughes continues to build on this strong first quarter. 8 points in the opening 9 minutes for the graduate student out of Rockaway Beach, New York.
So far, Matt, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The Knights have not yet gone to the bench.
Lots, deep two, off the mark. Trinkus with a strong box out. Gives possession back to Mount St. Mary. And Guglielmo wide open down the lane. Misses the layup. Offensive rebound to Love. And Trinkus rattles it in.
It's a team sport, Matt. That's perfect. If you can't do your job, if you can't finish, there are 4 other people ready to pick you back up.
A 5-point lead for the Knights, largest so far in this contest. Baker puts up a long 3. That's well short. Another rebound for Guglielmo. Love. Kick out Petrie. Trinkus feeling good. Puts up a long 2. Another offensive rebound. It's Hughes. Settles in the hands of Love. About a 7-second difference between shot clock and game clock. And Love will reset at the controls. Now attacks off the left and draws a foul against Aaron Smith.
If you're Mount St. Vincent, you just can't afford that. I mean, you give up an offensive rebound, and on that second possession, foul with under 10 on the shot clock. That's just not smart basketball.
Now we see our first 2 substitutions for Mount St. Mary. Kate Hughes, Maggie Trinkus out. Sierra Quinn and Angelina Donato in. As with that foul, the shot clock resets to 20, and with under 20 seconds to go, shot clock turned off. The Knights can hold for the final shot.
And for the most part for this first quarter, it just felt like these 2 teams are trading punches. A basket here, it would feel like the Knights are really on the game's first run.
Bouncing ball, not controlled. Baker gets it off before the buzzer, and it comes up short. And at the end of the first 10 minutes, it's Mount St. Mary 17. Mount St. Mary 17, Mount St. Vincent 12. And what an exciting first quarter, as Lucas and I talked about. A strong buzz inside the building, and it's Mount St. Mary throwing the first punch.
Absolutely, and definitely adrenaline certainly a factor. That last possession for the Knights far from pretty, especially after you already got a second chance. So there is some cleaning up to do on both sides of the ball, but if you're the Knights, it's nothing to be upset about in that first quarter.
We'll take a quick break. When we come back, second quarter action coming up in the Skyline semifinals. Welcome back to the Kaplan Center. 17-12, the lead for Mount St. Mary through the first quarter over Mount St. Vincent. A trip to the Skyline Championship is on the line, and when talking with Coach Dietz ahead of today's contest, she was harping on the ability to rebound for Mount St. Mary. While they are a top 30 rebounding team in the nation, she's felt they've struggled over the last 2 weeks. Well, they've come out with a strong rebounding effort, an 11-5 advantage in that category through the first quarter. Well, there's an offensive rebound for Jakaya Lotz, and she puts it in off the window to get the second quarter started with a Mount St. Vincent bucket. Donato in trouble, flips it up top to Quinn. If you're just joining us, Matt Scalzo, Lucas Stackpole with you. Glad you can make us a part of your Thursday night. Love nearly rattled in a 3, but the bouncing ball ends in her hands, and Quinn puts up the 3. That's off the mark. Guess what? Another offensive rebound for the Knights.
And I was going to say, Matt, like you said, talking to Coach Dietz, stressing the importance of rebounding. The Knights have killed it so far on the offensive rebounds. The tricky part is now cashing out. That's 3 possessions, and they can't come away with a score on any of them.
Hanley off to Baker, who's got 5 points, tied with Grace Kennedy for a team high. Lob inside was taken away, and a jump ball on the tie-up. It'll go Mount St. Mary's way.
And you can tell definitely the adrenaline is still pretty high for both teams. A lot of reckless passing for Mount St. Vincent and a lot of missed scoring opportunities for the Knights.
It's 11 turnovers combined through the first 10 minutes for these two teams. Quinn thought about the 3. Gets it off to Guglielmo. Strong defense by Lotz. Quinn. Guglielmo with 5. Down the lane, up with the right, and through contact. The second team all-conference guard, Brianna Guglielmo, gets her first bucket of the night.
And that's what your all-conference players do. That's 25 seconds of really good defense from Mount St. Vincent. Good defense, better finish.
And a steal, and Love up ahead to a wide-open Petrie. She tracks it down and settles it. Up top, Guglielmo, the 3. Comes up short. And Lotz with a strong box out brings in the board. Foul is called on the floor.
We're fine. There's a problem with the scoreboard, so just say the score periodically.
Apologies for the difficulties with the scoreboard. If you're just joining us, it's a 19-14 Mount St. Mary lead with 7:50 to go in the second quarter. Hanley with a good move, goes up with the right. The hoop and the harm for Kayla Hanley. Brings it down to a 3-point advantage, 19-16 with 7:41 to go. Hanley had been 0 for 3 prior to that point, and the leader of this team, as Coach Narduli describes her, gets going in a big way.
That was a big way for sure. That's definitely something you toss on the highlight reel, and if you're the Dolphins, that could not have come at a better time. Count the free throw, they're down 2.
Hanley, an 85% free throw shooter on the season, and Coach Narduli loves how she's stepped up her ability to score, but she also does a little bit of everything else. Over 5 points per game, 5 rebounds, and nearly 5 assists. But Donato answers on the other end with an acrobatic finish. And Angelina Donato, who had started the last 2 games due to Casey Love's illness, gets going off the bench, and she's been playing well. Baker, that's one too many steps. I saw it, Lucas saw it, and the entire baseball team saw it as well.
But now the big thing for the Knights, they've done a really good job forcing these defensive miscues. They need to start scoring off these turnovers. They're up 4, but it could be a lot more.
21-17, under 7 minutes to go in the second quarter. Love spins up with the left. And a good rebound by Baker. Hanley in transition. Backdoor feed goes off the leg of Guglielmo. She was looking for a cutting Kennedy with 6:41 to go as Julia Angelis returns. She replaces Greta Baker. Maggie Trinkus will also come in and take out Lauren Petrie. Maggie Trinkus in any other year probably would have been in strong contention for Skyline Freshman of the Year, but not when Carolee Barton was doing the work she did with the U.S. Merchant Marine. Aaron Smith well off the mark. Hughes in trouble. Nice find to Guglielmo in the lane, and it just goes off the back iron. So the 2 all-conference guards have struggled to get going in this first half. Smith especially is trying to deal with the pressure of this crowd. And another unforced error by the Dolphins will prompt a 30-second timeout by Coach Maria Narduli. Narduli in her 3rd season at the helm, 48-31 overall in her career, is looking to get the Dolphins back to the Skyline Championship where they won last year over Manhattanville. They will take on the winner of Farmingdale State and U.S. Merchant Marine Academy, which that game's going on right now. The undefeated in Skyline play. Mariners currently trail 17-16 to Farmingdale State in the second quarter. So something to keep an eye on there. The championship would take place at the highest remaining seed, depending on who that would be. And looking over at Coach Dietz, who's in her 2nd season with Mount St. Mary, 33-19 overall in her 2 seasons. and looking to take the Knights back to the Skyline Championship for the first time since the 2022 tournament, where the Knights ended up winning another Skyline Championship. As we come out of the timeout, 6:04 left to go in the second quarter. 21-17 the lead for Mount St. Mary. If you're just joining us, Matt Scalzo, Lucas Stackpole, glad you could be with us. Knights looking to take advantage of some more turnovers by the Dolphins. Trinkus in the short corner. No, offensive rebound for Guglielmo. And Brianna Guglielmo gets her second bucket. Has gotten off to a tough start, but those are the kind of buckets that can really get a player going, Lucas.
And the Knights, yeah, excellent job there scoring off second chance points. The offensive rebounds, they have killed it so far in the first 15 minutes of the game. If they can find a way to sustain that and keep playing this good of defense, they'll be in a pretty good spot.
Long two, drops in for Grace Kennedy. She's gotten off to a strong start. 7 points for the freshman out of East Fishkill, not too far from here.
Maybe starting to see both teams settle in a little bit on both sides of the ball, both sides. A lot of uncharacteristic errors, and obviously you're not going to be able to sustain those, especially not in a playoff game. So both teams really need to right the ship, and it looks like they've started to.
Greta Baker comes back in as Aaron Smith leaves. And the inbound to Kate Hughes. She was left all alone. Not going to use the window. Comes in the hands of Baker. Baker with Love tracking behind her. Just able to dislodge it as she went up. Possession will stay with Mount St. Vincent.
Really good job so far from this Knights defense. A lot of block shots, tipped passes, forced errors.
Hanley, step back, rattles it in. Her foot was on the line, so it is a deep two. But Kayla Hanley has announced herself in this second quarter with a pair of primetime buckets.
And these teams really right now just trading punches. Nobody's gotten the chance to pull away.
Hughes, double team, looking for help. Finds an open Guglielmo. Off the mark with the three. Hanley, the one-arm pass up ahead to Kennedy, and we are tied. What a dime from Kayla Hanley, evens it at 23 with 4:10 left to go in the second quarter.
Baseball pass is always exciting. Could not have put that in a better spot. Good job getting inside. That shot can't fall.
And Guglielmo off the mark from in close. 2 for 8 shooting is Guglielmo in this first half. Kayla Hanley, 5 points, a pair of assists now. Looking to give the Dolphins the lead for the first time since it was 10-9 with 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. But Maggie Trinkus with strong defense gets the tie up, and she limps a little bit as her and Lotz, looks like their ankles got tied up, and that'll prompt the 30-second timeout with 3:42 to go in the second quarter. 23 all between Mount St. Mary and Mount St. Vincent. And Lucas, we've talked about the turnover battle. Right now it's 8 turnovers for Mount St. Vincent, 6 for Mount St. Mary. And as Coach Dietz described the rebounding battle, it's 15-13 Mount St. Mary. But the big difference are the 7 offensive rebounds that they have so far.
Absolutely, and that's the big key to success. For a lot of the games we've done, Matt, I feel like the theme has been second chance points. The Knights doing a really good job getting the second chance. But Mount St. Vincent is really lucky the Knights have not had a whole lot of success that second time around.
Both teams break the huddle. And after the jump ball, possession goes in favor of Mount St. Vincent. So there was some confusion. Now they've all got it squared away.
30-second timeout, let your players decompress, and we're all tied up at 23, but as far as everybody's concerned, it's 0-0.
3:42 left, the inbound with 10 seconds. Hanley gets some space. She's got 5. Down to 3. Hanley takes the screen, gets some space. At the horn, comes up short. Guglielmo snags a board. And Brianna Guglielmo has 4 points, but she is 2 for 8 from the floor. She's been the focal point of this Mount St. Mary offense in the second half of the year. Trinkus, a catch and shoot, rolls off the rim and into the hands of Greta Baker.
A lot of good looks for the Knights. I mean, obviously you're not going to shoot 100% from the field, but you'd like some of these to fall.
Hanley gets some space, a stutter step, loses the handle as it goes out of bounds.
And now where both teams have struggled, can the Knights cash in on this? Another forced turnover, needs some offense.
A.B. Burnett has come in for Nylea Green, who is in for about a minute for Mount St. Vincent. Number 24 in blue, she guards Lauren Petrie in this 23-all game with 2:35 left to go in the second quarter. Hughes in some trouble, finds Guglielmo. Trinkus now up top, Petrie. Got it! With 1 second to go on the shot clock.
And that's exactly what the doctor ordered. Careful passing, wait for the open shot, even if it takes 29 seconds.
It was 29 seconds of stellar defense for Mount St. Vincent, and Casey Love does a beautiful job getting her finger on it. Goes out of bounds with 2:06 to go. 26-23, Mount St. Mary in front, and as I'm sure you can tell by the reaction of the crowd, I think you can guess who's come back into the game, none other than Aaron Smith.
The Boo Bird's out for sure, but for the most part, Mount St. Vincent's handled it well.
Smith is 0 for 2 shooting. Both have come from beyond the arc. She averages 15.8 points per game. Hanley needed a different club on the step back. And that was touched out of bounds by A.B. Burnett. Her foot was out of bounds, so that's what prompted the whistle. And now with under 2 minutes to go, a 3-point lead for Mount St. Mary, looking to extend it heading into halftime.
Very careful passing here for the Knights. It's been the theme for them the last few possessions.
Love up with the right. And a nice finish high off the window by Casey Love. Makes it a 5-point game. First bucket of the evening for Casey Love. Kennedy, a sidestep and a move inside on a runner. Goes in and out. As we near the final minute, 28-23, Mount St. Mary in front.
And this is slowly becoming the Knights team we've seen all year. 5-0 run with the ball, forced turnovers on the last few possessions.
Love the kick out. Petrie lines up another three and hits again. They'll mark it as a deep 2, but either way, Lauren Petrie, a dead eye from deep.
7-0 run now for the Knights, and they have really turned it on this last minute and a half.
Kennedy looks for an answer. That won't go. Petrie grabs a rebound with a minuscule difference between the shot clock and game clock. 30-27 the lead for the Knights.
And I'll tell you, Matt, a last-second bucket here would blow the roof off this place.
There's about a 1 second difference between shot and game clock, as there's now 10 seconds to go. Love attacks off the dribble into the corner. Petrie in and out. The follow saved by Hughes. Petrie gets another shot off, and this goes in.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about. You're going to have to measure that one on the Richter scale. Good look, shot won't fall. Second chance points, Matt. Perfect open look, shot goes in at the buzzer. They close out the half on a 9-0 run. You can't feel any better than you are now.
The 9th offensive rebound for Mount St. Mary makes it a 9-point lead heading into halftime, 32-23. Lucas, we've talked about it. You've mentioned the rebounding battle and those second chance points, how big they have been. We got to give our flowers to Lauren Petrie. She's got 12 first half points. She has continued to be on this tear that she's been on, averaging over 10 points per game over the last 6 games, and had a tough go-around the first time against Mount St. Vincent, 7 across the whole game. She's been on fire.
And that's the beauty of the playoffs, Matt. Anybody can step up. It doesn't matter who you are. You know, superstar, the last guy off the bench. Playoffs are for everyone. Lauren Petrie has answered the call. What a game so far.
Lauren Petrie, as Coach Deeks described her, she is the X factor of our team. Well, she has been the X factor and the star in the first half of this contest, 32-23, Mount St. Mary in front. We look over at the other semifinal nearing halftime. U.S. Merchant Marine in front, 23-21 over Farmingdale State. Again, the championship will take place at the highest seed, and in this case, it would be U.S. Merchant Marine, who now extends their lead up to 4 points. We'll take a break, maybe come back with a little halftime coverage when we return on the Mount St. Mary Sports Network. Welcome back to the Kaplan Center on the Mount St. Mary Sports Network. It's Mount St. Mary 32, Mount St. Vincent 23 through the first 20 minutes of this Skyline Tournament semifinals. A trip to the championship on the line to face either the winner of either U.S. Merchant Marine Academy or Farmingdale State. If you're just joining us, Matt Scalzo alongside Lucas Stackpole. Glad you could be with us. Lucas, in that first half, we saw Lauren Petrie take over 12 points. That's a game high, and she's one of the players that played in last year's game, and Coach Dietz talked about how that can be extra motivation, extra fuel to not walk away with the same feeling they had last year.
Absolutely, yeah, that game last year, fun fact, actually my first game as a broadcaster, that game definitely left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. And like we talked about in the pregame, for the Knights, this is mostly the same team. So that loss is still, I guarantee you, fresh on the mind, and the Knights looking to take care of business here tonight.
As we switch gears over to Mount St. Vincent, Coach Narduli was very adamant, very animated throughout the first half, as she should be in that sense. A team that they were able to take care of rather easily 5 days ago. And, of course, Mount St. Mary has gotten over that flu, and they've come out stronger. What are you watching for from Mount St. Vincent? Are you looking at Aaron Smith to try and get going? This crowd may have flustered her in that first half.
I think so. And if you're Mount St. Vincent, I think the easy thing, the simple thing is just get up off the mat. In a sense, they got saved by the bell. The Knights closed the half on a 9-0 run, and it certainly would have been more had there been more time. If you're Mount St. Vincent, definitely flustered coming into an arena as loud as we're talking about. This is as loud as it's been all year. So you can definitely tell the crowd is in their heads. Just slow down, take the simple things. Like you said, flu or not, this is still a team you beat by 20 points less than a week ago. So the capacity to do that is still in there. Slow down, make the right passes, play their brand of basketball, and they'll be fine.
We talked about the large crowd. We got an attendance number at halftime. It was 559. The average attendance for Mount St. Mary throughout the year was 133. So tonight it's over 4 times the amount of average attendance that they've had throughout the year as we get ready to get going in this second half. Coach Dietz talked about last year how in that to start the second half, she felt that her team got punched in the mouth. Well, she's looking to throw the first punch in this second half, up by 9. They held Mount St. Vincent scoreless over the last 4 minutes and 19 seconds. And for Coach Narduli, she wanted her team to stay in the moment. And if you get down, to take it one possession at a time. We saw in that first half how quickly things can change in favor of the Knights. They can just as quickly change in favor of this Dolphins team that is on its quest for its second straight Skyline championship. Mount St. Mary looking to return and win their first championship since the 2021-22 season, and we are underway in the second half. 32-23, Mount St. Mary with the lead. Love goes down the lane, had it blocked, is able to save it to Trinkus, and then she draws a foul. It's a late whistle against Michaela Legone. And so that will send Maggie Trinkus to the line, the freshman out of Marcy, New York, a 72% free throw shooter on the season, and has had 4 double-figure games in the last 6. Makes the first, gets her up to 5 points. In those 4 games, she's averaging nearly 17 points per game, 7 rebounds, and shooting 62% from the floor. In the other 2 games, she just has a combined 2 points and 3 rebounds. But she is certainly a difference maker and someone that Coach Dietz loves because she doesn't play like a freshman. And there is a turnover on the first possession for Mount St. Vincent, something that plagued the Dolphins in the first half. They only were credited with 6 turnovers, but it felt like there were a lot more, Lucas.
And that's, if you're the Dolphins, I was going to say that's the only thing you cannot do. You have to take care of the ball. You're down 11. There's still plenty of basketball left, but you have to clean it up before it gets to be too late. The one key to success was slow down, take care of the ball, and so far not off to a great start.
They get a steal on the other end, a blocked pass by Grace Kennedy. Hanley into Lotz, and Lotz is fouled by Trinkus.
And the tricky part now for the Knights is going back to that first half. They're on an 11-0 run, but halftime, as good as it can be, I mean, when you're on a 9-0 run, you'd rather not be halftime right after. Tricky part is making that momentum stick. We'll see if they're able.
Lotz knocks in the first free throw. We talked about the roster turnover from last year for Mount St. Mary. For Mount St. Vincent, there were just 2 players on the floor tonight that played in last year's game. Kayla Hanley, who I said started, And the other is Jakaya Lotz, who knocks in both free throws, played 21 minutes off the bench, had 10 points in the 72-62 win 371 days ago. Right now it's a 10-point lead for the Knights. Hughes might have gotten away with a travel, but she missed either way. Baker, a pump fake and an off-balance left-footed runner. Did not look like the shot that Coach Narduli was looking for in an unsettled possession for Mount St. Vincent.
Good job coming away with the rebound now for the Knights. Slow the game down. Definitely adrenaline still high, but they're up 10. Good job getting inside. That shot way off.
Guglielmo first to the floor. We'll get a jump ball, go to the arrow, and it's in favor of Mount St. Vincent with 8:11 left to go in the third quarter. 34-25, the lead for Mount St. Mary. And Kayla Hanley will come across half court. 5 points, 2 assists, and a steal for Kayla Hanley, but she has 4 turnovers as well. She's one of the best in taking care of the basketball, not only in the Skyline, but also nationally, as Lagone with a nice slip off the feed from Kennedy brings it down to a 7-point game. That is the kind of settled offense that Coach Narduli loves to see from her team and makes them so dangerous.
Definitely a confidence booster there. Wide open 2 points. Find a way to break through the defense. See if Vincent can do it consistently.
Trinkus gets some space, a little strong. Kennedy and Lotz came together. They both came away with the rebound. Hanley, the slip, Lagone wide open again. And a quick spurt from Mount St. Vincent, a 6-0 run, brings it down to a 5-point advantage, prompting a 30-second timeout by Coach Dietz in Mount St. Mary. It is 34-29 with 7:17 to go in the third. And when talking with Coach Dietz, she talked about getting punched in the face last year, and she felt that she didn't take a timeout quick enough to stop the bleeding. This feels like a well-timed timeout that she's learning from last year to try and get her team back into it. And for Mount St. Vincent, well, you couldn't have asked for a better start after Mount St. Mary got the first bucket in the second half.
Then absolutely, and me and my broadcast partner last year, the one thing we nitpicked was the lack of timeouts. Good job calling a timeout there. You're still up 5, and for the most part, you're still playing a really complete basketball game. Slow the game down, find a way to get some points on the board. Still no field goals yet, but this is a lot different team than what we saw to close out that second half.
2 for 3 from the floor for Mount St. Vincent to start. Of course, those 2 buckets from basically a foot away from Michaela Lagone, a sophomore out of Riverhead, New York, someone that Coach Narduli said has been building consistency throughout the year, has averaged over 5 points per game over the last 5 games, and especially when your star guard in Aaron Smith has been held scoreless and has not seemed herself in her return to the Kaplan Center. Lagone getting up to 4 points in just a matter of moments in this third quarter have been big for the Dolphins. Lagone, like Kate Hughes, was all sportsmanship team this year, and just like Hughes, she missed all of last year with an injury as well. Coach Narduli has loved to have her back on the floor. And now out of the timeout, the Knights look to kickstart their offense in this third quarter, up by 5.
Find a way to get over the slow start. The last thing you need, and the only thing you can't do, good job drawing the foul there, is you can't let Mount St. Vincent get back in the game.
Nearly a disastrous turnover for Mount St. Mary at a timeout, but a foul is called on the floor. That goes against Greta Baker, her first. Second against Mount St. Vincent in this third quarter. Fouls haven't really been an issue for either side, as Hughes couldn't finish in close. It was strong defense by Lagone and a good save by Lotz falling out of bounds.
And this is reminiscent to the start of the game. The Knights just very rushed, very flustered. Good rebound. Foul on the floor.
Baker nearly got that one to go, and then it was Lotz and Love that came together. They'll call a foul on Casey Love for a hold. She's looking around confused, saying, how is that a foul on me? She looked like she got to the ball first, and then Lotz came in. But either way, that's how it's called. And for Casey Love, that's her third personal foul. So something to watch here as Love will stay on the floor. Kate Hughes comes out as Donato checks in. Lotz well off balance, and then Trinkus throws it away. And a foul is called on the floor. It looks like that will go against Jakaya Lotz, a push as her and Guglielmo came together, and Guglielmo went crashing into the scorer's table.
Thankfully, they're both okay. And just if you're the Knights, this is a nightmare start to the second half. Bailed out on what, frankly, was a brutal turnover.
Knights have been scoreless for over the last 3 minutes. Donato, the slip to Love, and Hanley gets her hand on it. Crowd wants a foul. I think it's a good no call in my mind.
It looked like all ball. I mean, Love a highlight reel block there, no matter whose side it's on. And I have noticed this is definitely the quietest the gym has been all night. Mount St. Vincent fairly well represented, but it just doesn't compare to what obviously this home crowd has brought.
And Hanley again jumping the lane. Petrie gets it back though, off the heel. A foul on the floor as Trinkus and Lotz again come together, and it looked like Lotz landed on the left leg of Maggie Trinkus, and this is something you don't want to see if you're Mount St. Mary. Maggie Trinkus limping off the floor, not putting any weight on that left ankle. She has been one of the heartbeats of this team. Just as a freshman, how big she has been this season. 6 points, 6 rebounds in this contest so far, averaging nearly 8 points per game and 5 rebounds on the season. We hope she's all right as Kate Hughes comes back in. Hanley working against Hughes. Just working around the top of the arc. They have not initiated inside. Now they have. The skip from Lotz. Loses the handle, comes back to Kennedy. Oh. And a foul is called on Casey Love in what was a scrambled, wacky possession where Mount St. Vincent really just worked around the arc. And then on the skip from Lotz, it became basically hot potato. No one really got a good handle on the ball until Grace Kennedy did, and she was fouled by Casey Love. And that is Love's 4th personal foul. We got 5 minutes left in the third quarter. That is not good news for Mount St. Mary as Kennedy knocks in the first.
Obviously, that's Love's 4th foul. I can't say I love the call, but, you know, the referees aren't always right, but they're never wrong. So obviously 4 fouls is tough, but that was 27, 28 seconds of really good defense. As soon as they put any sort of pressure on, they force errant passes. You can't waste those good defensive possessions with a foul.
So now it's down to just a 3-point game. And Lotz picks up a foul. And in that first half where it felt like there were no whistles, both teams are up to 4 fouls with 5:25 to go in the third quarter. The next foul for either side sends the team to the line for 2 shots.
Definitely a more physical opening to this half than the prior one. Good move. Shot won't fall.
But a tap out by Donato gets another chance for Mount St. Mary, their 12th offensive rebound of the contest.
They just have to find a way to cash those in. Bingo.
That'll do. Angelina Donato, a long 2, makes it 36-31.
Right on cue there. That's a big shot. First field goal of the half of the Knights. Hopefully they can keep string a few of those together.
And Donato, who was big when Love was out with illness, trying to step up once again as Hanley comes up short. And here comes Donato again. Works around Lotz into the lane. It's Hughes with some space. Off the glass and in, and just like that, it's a quick 4-0 run for Mount St. Mary to push the lead back up to 7 with 4:20 to go in the third quarter.
Good job by Hughes there to stay composed. Bobbled the initial pass, got it right back. Beautiful shot there, and the Knights are stringing together a little run.
And this crowd has come back into it. Donato a steal. Baker blocks the pass, and now the other way, it's Kennedy all alone for an easy 2. And it's back down to a 5-point lead. Mount St. Vincent has not led since it was 10-9 with 4:41 to go in the first quarter. That pass is thrown away by Mount St. Mary. Lagone comes back in. She replaces Julia Angelis. Jakaya Lotz comes out, and Casey Mulvey makes her first appearance of the night for Mount St. Vincent.
And like we were talking about over the break, Matt, I wonder, Mount St. Vincent hasn't hesitated to go to the bench. The Knights have been running a 7-woman rotation, one of them being Maggie Trintis, who is currently out with injury. So I wonder if the Knights will stick with the 6-woman rotation, try and throw more heads out there. They only ran 7 in the first half.
Baker gets some space, and it's an air ball. Kennedy had the rebound but was out of bounds when she got it back. And you talk about that rotation. Well, really now it feels like it's down to 5 because of the foul trouble for Casey Love. So these are the 5 besides Love and Trinkus that we've seen. Neither one of the LaFaro sisters, Sarah Cashin, hasn't come in, and neither has Shannon Phelan. Neither have they really had to. Count the basket and the foul. Sierra Quinn will look to make it an 8-point game on a nice find from Kate Hughes.
Huge basket there, obviously. And Matt, if you're the Knights, you're doing everything you can to get this crowd back into it. And with a 7-point lead, chance for it to be an 8-point lead, I'd say they are.
30-second timeout taken by Mount St. Vincent with 3:10 to go in the third quarter. A 40-33 lead for Mount St. Mary. If you're just joining us, Matt Scalzo, Lucas Stackpole, glad you could be with us on this Thursday night. Trip to the Skyline Championship on the line. In the other semifinal, U.S. Merchant Marine Academy up 36-29 over Farmingdale State. 36-29 is that lead, and if the Mariners were to win, they would host the Skyline Championship for being the best team in the Skyline. Did not lose a single game this season in conference play, a perfect 20-0, and they're 23-1 on the season. Their lone loss on the year was by 31 points to number 1 NYU. So, road to the Skyline Mountaintop runs through Kings Point, New York.
If your only loss of the year was to the best team in the country, you have to feel pretty good about your chances.
We'll continue to monitor that game as this one moves along. As Hanley and Mount St. Vincent look to get going, guess who's returned? Aaron Smith. First team all-conference guard has been completely stifled by this Mount St. Mary defense. That is one of the best in the Skyline, second in the conference, holding opponents to 50 points per game. And this looks like it might get Aaron Smith going. A foul is called against Kate Hughes on the arm. Got her on as she was going up, and so that will send Aaron Smith to the line, who is a 75% free throw shooter this season.
And you touched on this a little bit ago, and what felt like was a fairly composed first half. First free throw won't go, much to the delight of the crowd. 5 fouls for both sides. I believe 6 is the bonus. I know for a fact we've had this talk before, but I wonder what changed.
Smith puts in the second. So she splits the pair and gets her first point of the night. 40-34 is the lead. Smith was perfect at the free throw line in the win against Manhattanville. She's not perfect here as Petrie gets some inside position, retreats up top to Hughes.
I'm not a mathematician, but being booed by 600 people definitely throws you off the game a little bit.
I would agree with that statement. As Guglielmo will go to the line after a foul was called as she was shooting.
Another shooting foul, and if our calculations are correct, this will put the Knights in the bonus.
Considering Mount St. Vincent was at 5 fouls before and it hasn't gone up, I'm going to go ahead and deduct that 5 fouls is what puts the team at the bonus, while the B hasn't gone up on the scoreboard yet as Guglielmo misses the first. It's been a tough night for the all-conference guards. Smith just the 1 point on that free throw as Guglielmo makes the second and pushes the lead back up to 7. Guglielmo, to her own right, has just 5. Both coaches talked about having other players step up when some of their best can't get going. As there's Quinn diving to the floor, gets a steal for Mount St. Mary. Donato got some space, flips it inside. Lofting it over the defense, and Guglielmo gets a bucket up to 7 points on a dime from Donato.
And that's just one of those passes, Matt, you could not have put it in any other spot. What a pass there from Donato, and the crowd's back into it.
Smith trying to get going. Lots, a deep 2. And the ball just could not be corralled. Went off 2 fingertips of some Dolphins players. Petrie in transition continues her strong night. 14 points for Lauren Petrie. Hanley saves it. Short corner from Green. Long and into the hands of Hughes. It's an 11-point lead that ties the largest of the night for Mount St. Mary. And with a minute to go in the third quarter, crowd getting into it.
So Kaplan Center is just back on its feet, Matt, and the Knights have done a really good job cutting possessions off at the root. Lots of one-and-dones for Mount St. Vincent, and the Knights have started to make good on that. No whistle.
I don't know how there wasn't a whistle on that call.
Everybody just kind of stops and stares at each other for a little bit. That shot falls.
Kennedy gets a much-needed bucket. She's been the engine of this offense for Mount St. Vincent. 15 points for Grace Kennedy.
And in the back half, these last 5 minutes of each quarter, the Knights have just been a completely different team. You can even narrow that down to the last 2 minutes. Obviously, that big end for the second quarter.
And Donato picks up a charge. She's upset. Coach Dietz calming her down, understands the emotions of this kind of game, and you don't want to have some foul call like that drive you off your game. And Hanley's a strong defender, understands situations, and while some might disagree that she went to the floor easily, she did a good job to draw such a foul to give Mount St. Vincent a chance for the last shot.
And that's exactly what I was going to say. If that's a foul, you know, that's subjective, but really good job on the defensive end.
Donato has to hurry. Up to Hughes. Puts it up. Bullseye! Kate Hughes at the buzzer. The referees will come together.
And Matt, this building is going to collapse. Most electric play we've easily seen all year, and big possessions. The air ball gets the crowd back into it, and a three-pointer from the parking lot to send us to the fourth quarter.
Referees don't have any disagreements. The three-pointer counts, and the Knights take a 12-point lead heading into the fourth quarter. They're 10 minutes away from heading back to the Skyline Championship for the first time since 2022 when we come back. Welcome back to the Kaplan Center. A miscommunication between Guglielmo and Donato ends in a basket for Kayla Hanley. If you're just joining us, Matt Scalzo alongside Lucas Stackpole. Glad you could be with us on this Thursday night. A trip to the Skyline Championship on the line. The Knights 10 minutes away from returning to the championship for the first time since 2022, and they are without two of their best. Doesn't matter, Kate Hughes had some space, and I spoke too soon on that one. It's a 10-point lead, but Maggie Trinkus left with an ankle injury. We haven't seen her come back as her and Jakaya Lotz got tied up, and Lagone gets called for a travel. And then Casey Love, the starting point guard for the Knights, is currently on the bench with 4 fouls. Hasn't been the best night for her offensively. 2 points, 1 for 7 from the floor, but Love has added 3 assists, 3 rebounds, a couple of steals, and a big block as well. Either way, this 5 has done damage for the Knights. Guglielmo took a big hit from Lotz, who now runs the floor up ahead and adjusts in the air to get it down to an 8-point lead. And Marion Dietz puts her 2 hands up and says, slow down, let's take a breath, play our game.
And obviously with that electric finish, as the ball is taken with the Knights, that electric finish for the third quarter, all the momentum in the world is with the Knights. Slow down, like Coach Dietz is telling her team, slow down, play our brand of basketball, because obviously 2 miscues turned into 4 quick points for the Dolphins.
Seven to shoot for Donato. Pulls the 3. Comes up short, and Lotz corrals the board. And Kayla Hanley will try and kickstart this Mount St. Vincent offense, trailing by 8. She's got 7 points, 4 assists, and 3 steals.
For the Knights, you cannot let the Dolphins. Oh, no.
That's a 50-50 call in my book. I see it both ways. They call a block against Donato on the pass from Hanley to Lotz slipping down the paint. I can see that going both ways, in my book at least.
Oh, for sure. It definitely goes both ways, and maybe I was being a little bit dramatic, but, I mean, obviously Donato got called for a charge on the offensive end. So
fair point. We have seen more charges be called than blocks, and that is one of them where you can see it go both ways. Might have just felt that Donato wasn't fully set by the time Lotz arrived, as Baker off the inbound puts up a corner 2. And
take care of the ball.
Hughes was in trouble, finds an outlet across half court in Guglielmo. Lauren Petrie and Kate Hughes have combined for 27 points, more than half of the Knights' total so far tonight. 14 for Petrie, 13 for Hughes.
And that's the beauty of playoff basketball, is help can come from anywhere. Like you mentioned, the 2 all-conference players on both sides have not done much.
Aaron Smith not on the floor. She has been absolutely stifled as Lagone on a nice reverse layup brings it down to a 6-point lead. And Mount St. Vincent throwing the first punch in this fourth quarter. They are on a 6-0 run to start it, after the 3 from Kate Hughes at the buzzer at the end of the third. And Donato says, I'll get the offense going. Works inside against the smaller Hanley. And a much-needed bucket for Mount St. Mary gets them on the board with 7 minutes to go in the fourth.
Big basket at a bigger time there. We'll see if the Knights can couple that with a stop.
Kennedy, a turnaround 2, short. And Donato had the box out and has the rebound.
Another one-and-done possession for the Dolphins, too.
Guglielmo, the 3, connects! That'll get this place going, and that'll force a timeout from Maria Narduli, as Guglielmo, who had been quiet through the first half, gets going and is into double figures with 10. Narduli saying, how is she the one that we leave all alone? As Guglielmo knocks in a big three, it'll be a full timeout with 6:29 to go in the fourth quarter. We'll take a quick break. It's the 11-point lead for Mount St. Mary. They are feeling it inside the Kaplan Center. Welcome back to the Kaplan Center. 6:29 to go in the fourth quarter, and we see our first bit of changes beyond the 7-woman rotation that we've seen from Coach Marion Dietz tonight. Aaron LaFaro checks in place of Kate Hughes, but it's still Sierra Quinn, Brianna Guglielmo, Angelina Donato, and Lauren Petrie. As Aaron Smith comes back in for Mount St. Vincent with Julia Angelis, they join Hanley, Baker, and Legone on the floor. Smith just 1 point on a free throw. The step back two, that'll get her going. That's the game we're used to from Aaron Smith. The step back two just inside the arc brings it down to a 9-point game. LaFaro flips inside Guglielmo with the left. LaFaro charges in, gets an offensive rebound. And it resets with 20.
And offensive rebounds have really just been the key to success for the Knights. If they can cash in, that would be huge.
That is their 13th offensive rebound. Nearly disaster. Petrie, the pump fake, and the two. Lauren Petrie with 16 points, 7 for 9 from the floor. Talk about stepping up down the stretch. Lauren Petrie has done just that. Double figures in 5 of her last 7. Baker off bounce, and Petrie sees numbers aren't in her favor, slows down, finds Quinn. LaFaro, the three, short, but guess what? There's another offensive rebound as Petrie slides in to pick it up. That is the 13th offensive rebound for the Knights as we reach the final 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
Now for the Knights, final 5 minutes, you're up 11. Stay within your boundaries, but go for the jugular. An errant pass there. Good job. Keeping it. Oh my goodness!
Oh man! Check please, Angelina Donato. That is absurd.
We'll get that footage to SportsCenter. My goodness, what a shot that was.
Smith answers on the other end.
But after that, you're not going to be able to keep this place quiet for long. Oh my goodness.
The baseball team is still in disbelief.
So are we.
Me and you are also, we don't have an answer to that one. Donato is just trying to save it. That'll work out in their favor.
That is incredible.
Petrie with under 10 to shoot. The kick out, Donato, another three. Tapped out, and Guglielmo, like a bloodhound, hunts down another offensive rebound, number 15 on the night for Mount St. Mary. They are up by 12 with under 4 minutes to go.
And the Knights are ready to blow the roof off this place. 5 seconds to shoot. Need to get something up here. Good pass.
The runner from Guglielmo won't go.
Another offensive rebound.
How about that? Another fresh 20. At this rate, the Knights might just never let go of the basketball for these final 3.5 minutes.
The tenacity. I'm going to keep saying it. A basket here, this place is going to burn to the ground.
The slip inside, and Guglielmo is fouled by Hanley with 3:19 to go. That possession feels like a backbreaker for Mount St. Vincent.
3 minutes, a lot of time left, but yeah, third time's the charm to get to go to the line on the third. Rebound, draw a foul. Obviously, you need both of these. Well, what a change in momentum we've seen in just 2 minutes.
Guglielmo misses the first. Going back to that three from Donato, she was running down the court with her hands spread out. I think she was doing the Jordan shrug because I don't think she knew how she made that. As Guglielmo splits the 2 free throws, it's up to a 13-point lead with just over 3 minutes to go.
Easily the most impressive thing I've seen since I started broadcasting. I mean, she was just trying to keep that ball alive. That in no way was a shot. That one won't go. Defensive rebound.
We're so used to saying offensive rebound.
Yeah, you're telling me. And another foul down the stretch. And reality's starting to set in a little bit for the Dolphins.
Casey Love returns to the floor. Sierra Quinn checks out. Love comes in with 4 fouls, again, to keep in mind, but there's under 3 minutes to go, and Love, one of those players that felt the loss and was in the loss last year. Hanley returns, and she is bringing some more defensive aggression as they need to, but Petrie's left alone, and that won't go. Lotz with the rebound, 2-on-1, the slip to Baker. Count it, and the foul, and that goes against Casey Love, which is her 5th, and she's fouled out of the game. 21 seconds since she returned to the floor.
That's just a tough break. It's a 2-on-1. I mean, you have 4 fouls, so obviously you don't want to let anybody shoot it uncontested. But for that to be your 5th foul and for it to be an and one is just a bad beat.
Casey Love didn't know in the moment that she had fouled out as Sierra Quinn came back in, and Love went running back onto the floor until Coach Dietz said, Casey, you fouled out, you got to come out. As Baker can't complete the 3-point play, and Quinn brings in a rebound. Smith hounding Donato as she comes across half court. LaFaro missed a cutting Guglielmo, lost the handle, but finds Guglielmo in the corner. And no foul is called as Baker went crashing into her in the corner, but knocked it out of bounds off of Guglielmo, and that's what the whistle was. I thought it was going to be a foul on Baker.
Yeah, personally, I think it should have been. I mean, good shot fake, got the jump, good pass inside.
And Hanley on the dish to Kennedy brings it down to a 9-point game with 2 minutes to go. And Coach Narduli saying foul with just over 2 minutes to go. 59-50, that's the 4th foul against Mount St. Vincent. One more sends the Knights to the bonus and to the line.
And if you're the Dolphins now, I wonder how you want to play this, because obviously the Knights are 1 away from the bonus, but you're also down 9. So you don't want to foul and send them to the line and just dig a deeper hole.
Quinn puts up the 3, in and out. Offensive rebound to Guglielmo, and she is fouled by Jakaya Lotz with 1:50 to go. 5th foul against the Dolphins. 2 shots for Guglielmo upcoming. That was a hard foul, and walks a little gingerly towards the line. But when she was talking with Sierra Quinn, she said she was okay. 1:50 to go in the 4th. 59-50, the lead for Mount St. Mary, on the brink of heading back to the Skyline Championship for the first time since 2022 and avenging their semifinals loss from a year ago against this very Mount St. Vincent squad.
Offensive rebounds, Matt, really the difference maker. This has been a theme the whole game, and we definitely sound like broken records. But the Knights have done a good job getting their own rebounds and second chances, forced fouls, made shots, even more offensive rebounds. It has all gone the Knights' way.
It looks like there was a mix-up on the amount of fouls as it went back down to 4 fouls, but it's still against Lotz. So now they'll have the inbound.
So because that foul for sure, it was definitely on the ground. So definitely just a mix-up with. Ooh.
As Guglielmo takes a hard fall, hits her head on the ground. Smith the other way draws a foul against Donato. And Guglielmo in some discomfort. Again, her and Lotz came together, and we heard that hard smack Guglielmo helped off as Hughes comes back in. Donato comes in, and Shannon Phelan will be the one to check in. Maggie Trinkus looked like she was going to try and head onto the floor, but she was walking with some discomfort, a limp still, and Coach Dietz has to go deeper into the bench as Smith makes the first free throw. With 1:39 to go, she brings it down to an 8-point game. Misses the second. And Baker hit it out of bounds. Possession back to the Knights. And that full court press is out for Mount St. Vincent.
And Matt, now if you're Mount St. Vincent, how much longer do you wait until you hit the panic button?
Phelan finds Donato. Up ahead to Hughes. 3-on-1. The lob inside to Quinn. That is picture perfect press break from the Knights. And now you just got to get back on defense, and Phelan did a good job closing down Lotz, who was going rim to rim. Hanley puts up the three. That's short, and it goes out of bounds. Ashley Morocco was unable to track it down in the corner.
Desperation, I feel like, starting to set in. That is a long three-pointer. We have seen plenty of long three-pointers tonight, but are we really sure that's the shot Mount St. Vincent needed right there?
Trailing by 10, 1:15 to go in the fourth. Next foul sends Mount St. Mary to the line. Donato working against Smith. Hughes is hounded, and the foul is called on Jakaya Lotz.
And we're entering dagger territory, Matt. I think one more big shot from the Knights will be the knockout punch.
It's certainly getting close, as that's the fourth personal foul against Lotz. There's also 4 against Aaron Smith, as Hughes goes to the line for 2 shots. And she makes the first. Hughes is 3 for 3 at the line on the night. Right around an 80% free throw shooter on the season. She makes both. Cool, calm, and collective, gets up to 15 points, which is a new season high for Kate Hughes. And what is likely her final game in the Kaplan Center. Lotz inside. Strong defense on the double team from Hughes and Quinn. Disrupted that shot. Donato will call a timeout as she was trapped on the sideline by Lotz and Kennedy with 44.2 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. It's a 63-51 lead for Mount St. Mary. So let's do a full game reset just to let you know where we are. We got the score. 12-point lead for Mount St. Mary, 44.2 seconds to go on the clock. 2 timeouts for both sides. 5 fouls against Mount St. Vincent, so any foul the rest of the way sends the Knights to the line. And 3 against Mount St. Mary. So they still got 2 fouls to give. That's not really in the equation right now. And the possession arrow points the way of the Dolphins. And so Lucas, right now, you're looking for a steal off the inbound or a 5-second violation if you can get it. If not, you have to foul, right?
For sure, and I think you don't want to wave the white flag if you're the Dolphins. But like you said, you're cashing all of your chips on being able to force a turnover on the inbound. If they can't force a turnover, I mean, obviously McGrady got 13 in 30 seconds. Weirder things have happened. But if they can't force a turnover here, I don't like their chances.
And you heard a cheer from the crowd. Well, that's because Brianna Guglielmo came back into the huddle. You have to wonder about the health of her and for Trinkus. If the Knights are able to get through these next 44 seconds unscathed. Meanwhile, in the other semifinal, U.S. Merchant Marine has pulled away. They are up 64-46. And pulling away is Lauren Petrie past Greta Baker. That is the polar opposite of what you wanted if you were Mount St. Vincent, but exactly what you needed if you are the Knights. Lauren Petrie looks like she just ran a wheel route and burned straight past Greta Baker, and then a dime of a pass on the inbound. And the baseball team can feel it. singing a quick little rendition of Goodbye with 40.8 seconds to go as Petrie gets up to 18 points.
Of course, and who else but Lauren Petrie to send us all home? That has to be the dagger, Matt, I feel. At 14 points with 40 seconds, I'm not even sure it's worth it to foul at this point. And as for the baseball team, obviously I'm on the baseball team. I'd much rather be in the booth, but we were under strict instructions, come and come loud, and they have just brought the noise.
Men's basketball team also sprinkled in there as well. From what I can see, it has been a strong showing for Mount St. Mary. And what is, based on how the other semifinal is going, is likely the final home game of the 2024-25 season. Largest record, or largest attendance so far this season. And it looks like the Knights are 40.8 seconds away from avenging their demons from last year's semifinal. A 10-point loss in this very building to Mount St. Vincent as the Dolphins went on to win the Skyline. The Knights looking to get a third crack at the Mariners of U.S. Merchant Marine Academy, who they lost to both times in the regular season, both in overtime. The Knights have appeared to be the only team that can really compete with the Mariners, as there's a hard foul against, I believe, Jakaya Lotz, which would be her fifth. Actually, they'll get it against Aaron Smith, so that's her fifth, and she has fouled out of the game. Shannon Phelan will head to the line, 12 for 14 at the line this season. As there'll be a sub in, as Grace Kennedy checks in for Aaron Smith in what is likely her final collegiate game, and overcome with emotion as a warm embrace with Maria Narduli. While this crowd hasn't been super kind to her in her return to the Kaplan Center, spent 2021 to 2023 with Mount St. Mary, as Phelan makes both. Makes it a 16-point lead. Smith exits with 6 points on what has been a tough night for the first-team all-conference player. Mel Broderick off the mark. A rebound to Lauren Petrie. And still continuing to foul is Mount St. Vincent, trailing by 16 with 17.9 seconds to go. Sends Lauren Petrie to the line looking for 20 points. One free throw make here. She sets a new career high. And Petrie 14 for 15 at the free throw line this season. Michaela Legoen checks in for Greta Baker. There is a stoppage. Referees cross-checking something with the scores table. And so Lauren Petrie at the line, 18 points, 8 for 11 shooting. Adds another free throw to it and sets a new career high. Previously set it just 8 days ago in the massive win over Manhattanville, which clinched the 2 seed for Mount St. Mary. Splits the 2, but guess what? How about your 18th offensive rebound and a toe tap at the half-court line to close things out. The crowd rises to its feet, and for the first time since 2022, Mount St. Mary is heading back to the Skyline Championship. They avenged their semifinals loss from last season against Mount St. Vincent with a resounding 68-51 win in front of a nearly 600-person crowd inside the Kaplan Center tonight. And Lucas, the rebounding battle, we talked about it pregame. Coach Dietz was harping on it. Well, I think the team got the message. They out-rebounded Mount St. Vincent 46-27 with 18 offensive rebounds.
And that's just ridiculous, and that's really just a testament to the brand of basketball the Knights have played the whole year. You know, you and I have gotten the privilege to do a lot of games together, and offensive rebounds and rebounding as a whole has been a theme for many of them. And the Knights really just flexing their muscles. Huge win when they win a physical game. We're playing for a championship, Matt.
Meanwhile, in the other semifinals, that has gone final. It'll be 1 versus 2 in the Skyline Championship on Saturday. Will be taking place in Kings Point, New York, as U.S. Merchant Marine Academy takes down Farmingdale State 70-52. As I said, Mount St. Mary really the only team that's been able to compete with U.S. Merchant Marine this season. A pair of overtime losses. They're looking to get the win in the third meeting this year, and we've seen how hard it is to beat a team 3 times this year. Manhattanville was unable to do it against Mount St. Vincent, and the Knights will look to do that and lift their first Skyline Championship trophy for the first time since 2022. But that'll do it for us inside the Kaplan Center across this entire season. If you've been able to make us a part of your night or afternoon, morning, whatever it was inside the Kaplan Center, we greatly thank you. For our entire production crew, I'm Matt Scalzo alongside my partner Lucas Stackpole, saying so long from the Kaplan Center. We're glad you could join us for this roller coaster of a 2024-25 season, but Mount St. Mary is heading back to the Skyline Championship for the first time in 3 seasons after a 68-51 win over Mount St. Vincent. I've been Matt Scalzo alongside Lucas Stackpole, signing off from the Kaplan Center. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday night.